Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/EntitledParents. In today's episode, how dare you touch my daughter's bra? We know we're going on an all-expenses-paid trip to France. But we want more. My mom is a complete psychopath. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. How dare you touch my daughter's bra? Happened to a male coworker of mine. I'm never on cash register, but I had the fortune of cleaning something nearby when this occurred and got to witness the fun. Entitled Mom, CW coworker. CW was at his register when with her young teen daughter came up with their purchases. He greeted them and about scanning their items. Everything was normal. Then he picked up a bra to scan and take the hard tag off. What do you think you're doing? CW, I'm sorry? Why are you fondling my daughter's bra? CW, oh, I need to scan it, that's all. Get someone else to do it. CW, I don't understand the problem, ma'am. At this point, the daughter was red in the face and nudging her mom, asking her to let it go. But no. Wasn't screaming, but she was definitely being loud. She started calling CW a pervert and indecent, saying that a gentleman should never touch a young woman's underwear. CW was trying to explain that he was just doing his job. Another cashier got a manager, who rushed over. She arrived and asked to explain the situation. This perv was fondling my daughter's new bra. He should have at least called a woman to come handle it. Wasn't he taught that when you hired him? Manager, we don't train our employees to do any such thing. We train them to respect every item and every customer. He was fondling my daughter's new bra. He's disgusting. Manager, ma'am, CW has worked here 2 years. He scans bras all the time. Trust me, it's not sexual for him. Yelled at CW and my manager for being disgusting perverts and said she'd be calling the police on us for condoning pedophilia. She grabbed her embarrassed daughter and stormed out of the store. We all had a good chuckle about it. Other customers shook their heads and rolled their eyes. CW was fine, he thought it was ridiculous and funny. He's been retelling the story all day. I'm just wondering how old this woman is and what kind of household she grew up in. Her daughter looked early teens, she looked probably early 40s. I just feel really sorry for the daughter in this situation. I know how awkward it is for a young teenager to be buying a bra, having that much of a deal made out of it must have been mortifying. If that's how her mom reacts, I'm guessing the poor girl is mortified quite frequently. Someone grew up sheltered, or was a raging hormonal lady. And is afraid her daughter will make the same mistakes. Technically, an item does not belong to the customer until it is paid for, so it was still store property at the time that it was being fondled. We know we're going on an all-expenses-paid trip to France. But we want more. This is an oldie but a goodie. A few years ago, there was a story about a man and his wife. This man had a sister whose daughter would be graduating. As is commonplace, this girl got a graduation trip to a location of her choosing. This girl chose France. The sister went all out in her planning, inviting multiple family members, including the OP and his wife. This trip was 2 weeks with all expenses paid. Sounds like a dream come true. Well, in the months leading up to the trip, OP's wife became pregnant. Sadly, this meant that she would not be able to participate in a large majority of the activities, which were winter sports related. The sister recommended some spa and self-care things. However, this was not good enough for our protagonist or his wife. They didn't want to be left out. Now, not wanting to be left out is understandable since feeling like you're missing out sucks. What was not understandable is how OP planned to rectify this situation. First, he tried to get his sister to postpone the trip, something that was quite out of the question since everything was already paid for and the niece would be going off to college not long after the trip. He then tried to get his sister to change the location to somewhere tropical, seemingly forgetting that this was not his trip and was a gift to his niece. His sister understandably refused to budge. Then, this dude had the fucking audacity to call his sister selfish. I just want to remind you that this woman paid thousands of dollars to fly the family to spend 2 weeks in France. She could have easily just made it a trip for her, her husband, and her daughter. But, out of the kindness of her heart, she had invited the family, including OP and his wife. OP took the Reddit to ask if he was the asshole. The sub universally agreed that he was. But just you wait. It gets better. OP made an edit where he accepted his judgment. Seems like this is going to have a happy ending. Until you read the part where he resolved to simply ask the other family members to not talk about the activities. You may commence face-palming now. That was the last edit and there were no further updates given. However, it would not surprise me in the least if OP and his darling wife were promptly uninvited from the trip. Or, if that wasn't an option, they are excluded from future vacations. It's very rare to find stories about entitled parents where the child isn't even born yet. However, I feel that what we have witnessed was the foundation for their newfound entitlement. OP's wife seems destined to become one of those mothers who expects everyone to cater to her needs merely because she has a child. And as for OP, the pregnancy has unleashed a side to himself that has likely stayed dormant up until this point. I would not at all be surprised if we haven't heard the last of these two. We may yet hear about them again on this very sub. I don't remember it. I wish I did. I wish we had a follow-up from the sister. If they did go on the trip, you can bet they made everyone else miserable. Why do we have to eat this? Why can't we do more stuff with pregnant wife and not the things niece wants to do? I remember reading that post. Just because one is pregnant doesn't mean they can't participate in those activities. My mom is a complete psychopath. Yesterday, I brought up to my mom about a possible surgery. I have heart disease that involves a stent being placed in my aorta since it's starting to narrow like it did when I was a baby. She said no because she thinks my doctor's just doing it for money, and if I go through it takes away the miracle that God supposedly did to balloon my narrowed aorta when I was a baby. That isn't even close to the worst part. A little after that, my mom said out loud in public restaurant with people nearby that my grandfather has ties to the mob if something goes wrong. Basically, she's saying that if I somehow die during the surgery that he's going to order a hit on my doctor. I can't even look at my family the same anymore. Now it makes me wonder if other family members are still involved in the mob business, let alone how many dark secrets she's been hiding from me since I was a kid. It also got me to thinking about something my dad said to her years ago during one of his manic episodes. Now that this came out, it's starting to make me believe he wasn't just talking crazy. He told her verbatim that your dad and your brother sent the mafia after me. Just to think that my grandfather and uncle possibly sent an attempted hit job on my own dad is absolutely terrifying. Side note, the mob my mom is talking about my grandpa having connections to isn't just any mob. It's the Mexican mafia who have direct connects to the cartels, and those dudes aren't like the Italians or the Irish who mainly killed those who messed with their money. They'll cut a random civilian's head off and stick it on a stop sign just to send a message to the police to stay off their turf. My dad's side is from Mexico, so I've heard my share of stories. So ban them from the hospital and getting any information from them about you. Make sure they / you say COVID restrictions because it's a bad place to catch it right after surgery. If you are still at home, I'm sorry. Also not know the name of the doctor who did the surgery. Tell them it's a new specialist they hired or someone coming to do it from another state or something. That wouldn't work because this doctor has been with me since birth. Don't tell her or anyone you are having the surgery. Tell them that they want to just check on it. lies are better than death. The problem is that she already knew about it way before, so I can't lie. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.